Tonight on Sport, we're with 17-year-old Brendan Leach as he reflects on a season behind the wheel of his Formula Ford that saw him finish second overall in a title race that remained undecided until the final round.
This is my third season I've just completed. In my first season I placed ninth overall and second in the rookie championship, and last year I got third in the championship and 3 podium places, and this year I was pretty impressive. I think I got 15 out of 15 podium places, 3 wins, qualified on pole at one of the rounds, qualified in the top 3 at every single round, and finished on the podium every single round, which I got 2 round wins at, one at Tiratonga here and one in Timaru, so that was pretty impressive.
Let's talk about those early karts. What sort of vehicles are we talking about? And as you progress through the different stages of kart racing, do the vehicles change much, the cars?
Yeah, an average lap time for the first class I was in was about a 45-second lap time, and it slowly increases. Like when I got to junior, it's the similar engine to the senior kart, but a little bit restricted, and we got down to a 35, 34ish, and in the class I'm in now, we're right down to the 33s, and my brother's class, which is the class above that again, is 32 seconds, so it gets faster and faster. The karts that we race now do about 40 kilometres faster than the grades below us, so yeah.
How big is kart racing in New Zealand? Does it provide you with a good springboard into Formula Ford and that sort of thing? Is it quite competitive?
Yeah, it's very competitive. It's you need very fast reaction timing. Everything's a lot smaller than cars, so everything happens a lot faster, and definitely there's each race meeting you race at around New Zealand, there'll be at least 15 karts a field for the big meetings, and it's really close racing. Everyone's usually within 2 seconds of each other, so it's very competitive.
That step up to Formula Ford, take us through that. That's quite a large step, isn't it? An enormous step.
Yeah, it's a very big step. Just the difference between having one brake on the back of a go-kart and then 4 on this car, and you've got a gearbox to use as well, and just everything. The Formula Ford handles a lot different to a go-kart.
How easy are these vehicles to handle? Obviously a huge step up from karts, as you were saying, but are they a friendly beast to drive?
No, definitely not. They're very, very aggressive. They like to slide around lots. So, and the temperature sitting in 45 degrees for half an hour, while you're racing, plus sitting on the grid, it gets very mentally and physically, annoying. You start getting tired, and it's very draining.
That's the sort of side we don't really think about as spectators of motorsport, but the incredible temperatures you're putting up with, it does get very hot, doesn't it? Yeah,
definitely. It's very, very aerobic. We, putting up to 45 degrees, 60% humidity. It's very hot. People don't realise how hard it actually is. And your core temperature gets up to 39 degrees, which is when it's nearing to its end. So it's very hard, very draining sitting in that temperature. Plus the G-forces we're pulling as well, which makes that's a lot different from go-karts where the corner's over and done within half a second, but some of these corners take up to 5 seconds, so it's very draining.
Take us through your 3 seasons in Formula Ford. What were your expectations in the first season? How were you feeling on that grid for that first race?
Yeah, I still remember that up at Pukekohe, the fastest track in New Zealand, and it was really nerve-wracking. I remember sitting on the grid of 16 cars, off 12th odd on the grid. So
you qualified 12th, or how was that?
Yeah, qualified 12th. And I remember on the Thursday of testing, it was wet, and everybody put new tyres on their cars, and I was just on the old tyres from the earlier in the day, and I went out and set the 5th fastest lap time in my first ever national race meeting, so that was pretty cool. But then from then on, it's a very hard track to drive on. You've got to definitely have a lot of skill to drive on it. Full noise to the first corner, and the straight you get up to 245 kilometres an hour, so it's very fast.
How many races are there in a season, and where did you finish in that first season?
We raced, the first season there was 6 rounds with 3 races each round, so we had 18 races. Plus
and you had podiums in that first season?
No podiums. I got a couple of 4th and 5th placings, but the first season was very hard, just getting used to the car and not having many testing miles beforehand, and I was really lucky nearing the start of the season to get EH Ball ITM on board, and they've been on board with me since then, and it's been really great to have them.
And your second season's expectations for that?
Well, I was hoping to get a podium finish in the championship, which I managed to get. It was another very hard season.
Which track was that?
I got 2 podium finishes down here and a round podium, which I got second overall there, so that was pretty cool against the current New Zealand champion, and I had a good wee battle with him, but he managed to get me in the end, and won in Timaru as well on the wet, so yeah.
Third season, just finished. You came very close, didn't you? Right through the season. In fact, you were dominant.
Yeah, I was dominating the whole season. I extended my championship lead from round 1. The first qualifying, I qualified third for the first round, and I got a third, a second, and then my first ever race win in a racing car at national championship level. It was just an amazing feeling to be going around the track on the cool down lap and having all my supporters out there clapping. It was a great feeling.
James Munro, he's your main adversary, isn't he? That was unfortunate in Taupo the last round.
Yeah, definitely. We were giving it everything. We couldn't do any more than we did. I made a wee mistake in the first race, which I think cost us the championship, but we couldn't do too much about it. I tried as hard as I could, and we missed out by 5 points, which is 75 points for a win for a race, so there was nothing in it at all.
You'd have to be happy with that season, though, overall, wouldn't you?
Yeah, definitely. Second in New Zealand, you can't complain too much about, but that would have been my toughest season, I think. It was just very, very hard, and it'd get to you if you didn't do so well at one of the races. It would get to you for the next race. You wanted to do. You were hungry for a win, or just wanted to do well.
How big is that competitive feeling within you? Obviously, motor racing is about as competitive as it can get.
Yeah, definitely. For a start, I hadn't won a race, so I didn't know what it was like. But once I won a race, I was just eager to do it again, and I managed to do it my first ever race after the round down here. So I won the last race at Tirotonga and won the first race at Timaru, and from then on I just kept getting podiums, and at the last race of the championship I managed to win again, which was a great feeling just to finish with a win. We haven't raced since then, so it's very cool.
Let's talk about your future in motor racing. What's the next step? How long will you stay in Formula Fords first, and what's the next progression?
Well, I'm actually hoping to compete in the Toyota Racing Series this next season against the top international drivers and young drivers in Europe, and my brother as well. He'll be in the field. I'm hoping to be his teammate. So it's going to be.
There'll be team orders there.
Yeah. Yes. No. Well, from then on, I hope from Toyota Racing Series, depending on how that goes, to be a 2 or 3 year campaign. I'm not sure, and if that goes well, hoping to go over to Australia and do some racing there, and hopefully I can get a drive from that to lead into V8 supercars, which I've wanted to do since I was a little kid. So, yeah, I'm hoping it all goes well this year.
The Toyotas, how different are they from the Formula Fords? How big a step up is that?
Oh, it's a major step for the Formula Ford. We've got a 4-speed gearbox. It's just like same changing as your road car, but it's only got 4 gears, and in the Toyota Racing Series car, it's just full noise and pull it through the gear, and six gears as well, so we're going an extra 30 kilometres faster, plus we've got slicks and wings, and yeah, as soon as you get in behind someone around a corner, you run out of grip, and it gets very slippery, so it makes it really hard, and it's even more draining because the cars are identical, so the cars are within like a tenth of a second, so there's nothing in it.
So it's all about the driver.
Yeah, definitely. This is the class that takes it down to the driver, and if you do well here, yeah, you've got something special in you.
The Toyotas, is this a different size season? Are you using different tracks and that sort of thing, or fairly similar to the circuit you've been existing in with Formula Ford?
They're the same tracks as we've driven on, but the series is run a bit differently because it's run with international drivers. They squeeze it up as much as they can. So in the last couple of years, they've run it 5 meetings in a row. So 5 consecutive weekends they race Tirotonga, then Timaru, then head up to Taupo, Auckland, and then back down to Palmerston North or Manfield for the final round of the championship and the New Zealand Grand Prix. So yeah, it's pretty full on for 5 weeks, and then the international drivers just head home again, and we just carry on training.